Have you ever been alone in a room and suddenly felt a chill? Not just a cold breeze, but that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest, like someone is standing right behind you. You turn around. Nothing's there, but the hair on your neck is standing up, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a gray shadow flicker, and then it's gone. Most people would call this a haunting. But what if that feeling and that shadow had nothing to do with ghosts at all? What if it was something far stranger? Something you can't even hear? Back in the 1980s, an engineer named Vic Tandy experienced exactly this. Vic was a man of science. He didn't believe in the supernatural. But one night, while working late in his lab, something happened that shook him. He suddenly started sweating. A wave of depression and dread hit him out of nowhere. Then, he saw it. A gray, shadowy figure slowly forming to his left. He froze. He turned to face it, and the figure vanished. The next day, something even stranger happened. Vic was cleaning a fencing sword when he clamped the metal blade in a vise, and suddenly, the sword began vibrating, not slightly, violently, like an invisible hand was shaking it. Vic looked around the room, trying to figure out what could possibly cause that. And then he noticed something. An extractor fan in the corner of the lab. It was humming. So Vic walked over and switched it off. Immediately, the sword stopped vibrating. He turned the fan back on, and the vibrations returned. That fan wasn't just making noise, it was producing a sound so low, the human ear couldn't hear it. The frequency was 18.9 hertz. For context, humans can only hear sounds starting at about 20 hertz. So to everyone in the room, it sounded completely silent, but something inside the human body was still responding to it. And here's the part that gets strange. 18.9 hertz happens to be extremely close to the resonant frequency of the human eyeball, which means when sound waves hit your eyes at that frequency, your eyeballs can begin to vibrate. Just slightly, but enough to distort your vision. The result? Your peripheral vision starts filling with faint, shifting shapes, like gray shadows moving just outside your focus. Your brain, desperate to understand what it's seeing, tries to turn those shapes into something familiar, often a human figure. And that terrible feeling of dread? That may not be imagination either. Very low frequencies, called infrasound, are often produced by powerful natural events. Earthquakes, violent storms, large predators moving through the environment. Over thousands of years, our brains evolved to treat these frequencies as warning signals. When your body senses them, it triggers anxiety, unease, a deep instinctive fear, even when your conscious mind has no idea why. Maybe, sometimes, what we think we saw was never really there. Just a sound so low that our ears can't detect it, but our bodies still can. A frequency quietly moving through the room, shaking things we can't even feel, including our own eyes. 18.9 hertz. A sound most people will never hear, but one that might explain why shadows sometimes seem to move when nothing actually did. Stay curious. I'll see you in the next zone.